Hey guys, hope you're all doing well. I'm Lucas, and today we're stepping into another set of intense Reddit stories. Real emotions, real consequences. If you enjoy stories that hit deep, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Let's get into it.
I bought a couch and it cost me my marriage. That sounds dramatic until you hear what she said on the phone that night, whispering to her mother like I'd become a piece on their chessboard. I control everything, she told her. He won't make a move without me. I was halfway down the hallway holding 2 takeout bags in my breath. When I heard that, something in me stood up and never sat down again. We lived in Columbus, Ohio, suburbs on the west side where lawns are rectangles and people wave at stop signs. I'm 36, a project manager for a construction supply company. I like things that stack, budgets that add up, wood that measures even. My wife Madison is 34. She works in HR for a healthcare network and collects scented candles like each season is a smell you can own. When we got married, I thought I was marrying her. It took me years to understand I had actually married a committee. Her mother's name is Linda. Everyone calls her Mama Lynn. She lives 13 minutes away, 15 if there's a school zone. She's the kind of woman who announces what's just common sense and then proceeds to run your life with the gravity of that phrase. When we dated, it was cute. I liked how close they were. I even liked Thanksgiving at Linda's because she made stuffing like a religion. But closeness has a line, and I didn't know where it was until I tripped over it. The couch was navy. Low arms, deep cushions, soft enough you could fall asleep during the second quarter and wake up in time for highlights. I did the research. I measured the living room twice, like a man should. I compared fabric swatches under our afternoon light because sunlight tells the truth about color. I found it on sale. And yes, I bought it without calling Madison at work or texting a picture to the family group chat where Linda likes everything and suggests throw pillows the way coaches draw up plays on a whiteboard. I thought I was doing a good thing. Our old couch had become an archipelago of springs pretending to be land. It whimpered when you sat too hard. I pictured Maddie coming home, seeing the couch like a surprise cake and laughing that laugh she has when the world fits. Instead, the delivery guy set it down at 3, and by 3:15, my phone lit up. It was her. "Tell me you're joking," she said. "No hello." "With the couch?" I said. "It's beautiful. It's bigger than it looked on mine, but it fits. Sit on it before you judge." "I told you I was waiting on Mom's samples," she said. Her voice got that tightness in it like a lid twisted on too hard. "You went ahead anyway?" "I found a deal," I said. "We needed a couch. The old one is a back injury. I wanted to surprise you." "I don't want surprises," she said. "I want respect." "I respect you," I said. "But do I need permission to replace a piece of furniture we both hate?" "You should have consulted me," she said. "You should have consulted family." Family meant Linda. It always meant Linda. The calls, the texts, the nightly recaps where Maddie would sit cross-legged on our bed and talk to her mother like she was filing a report. "We'll talk when I get home," she said. "Do not unwrap it. Do not sit on it. Do not touch it." She hung up. She hung up. At 6, she came in hot as a cast iron skillet. She looked at the couch like it had insulted her childhood. She walked around it, arms folded, and I could feel the air bend around her. I kept my voice even. "Just sit," I said. "5 minutes. If you hate it, I'll return it. They charge a fee, but I'll eat it." "You spend our money without asking," she said. I thought I was spending our money to make our home nicer. She stared at me and then said the thing that turned a couch into a wedge. "You don't respect my family." I blinked. "A couch is disrespectful to your family? You know Mom and I make decisions together. You cut us out. You don't get to do that because you got excited by a discount. Us." The word bounced around the room like a bat. I should have said something clever. I should have held a boundary and then closed my mouth. Instead, I said, "We is you and me, Maddie, not you and your mother deciding what I can sit on." Her face flashed the way it does when she's choosing between fight and cry. She chose fight. "You think you're the only one who lives here?" she said. "I will not be disrespected." I didn't sleep on the couch that night just to prove a point. If I'd slept on it, that would have been a joke we could have laughed at years later. Instead, I went to the spare room and stared at the ceiling fan drawing circles around a question I hadn't wanted to ask: who's steering my life? The next morning, my phone pinged at 7002 with a calendar invite titled Family Decision, Couch. Guests, Madison, Linda, location, our living room. I stared at the little notification banner like it was a spider you don't want to squash because you don't want to deal with the smear. I hadn't added Linda to our shared calendar. Apparently, she had access anyway. I opened settings. Our Apple family had 6 people in it now. I remembered 3 from months ago. There was a note under shared purchases with a toggle labeled Ask to Buy. It was on, for me. My heart thumped. Ask to Buy is something parents set for kids. It pings the organizer for permission. I went back to the store receipt for the couch. I had paid in store. If I had tried online, I might have had to request permission like a teenager who wants a video game. I found the family chat and went back years. People post pictures of dogs and casseroles. I scrolled to yesterday and saw a thread from noon. Maddie had posted 2 couches Linda sent with prices and fabric notes like a spec sheet. Linda replied, "Good girl, wait for me." Her sister Kelsey wrote, "Make sure he doesn't impulse buy. Men are children." Then a bubble from Madison. "I told him to wait, he better." A bubble from Linda. "If he buys, he returns. Stand firm." I stared at the screen until the letters blurred. I clicked out, went to work, tried to focus on a delivery schedule that suddenly felt easier than my marriage. At lunch, I sat in my truck and called my friend Eric. He's one of those guys who listens like it's a job. He has a wife who's pleasant and a dog who minds, and they grill on Sundays like a commercial. Man, he said after I told him about the couch, this isn't about furniture. I know. This is enmeshment, he said. You married two women who think they're one person. I married one woman who reports to her mother like a boss, I said. Same difference, he said. Set a boundary. How? I said. I tried. She sent me a calendar invite like a warning label. Then don't attend, he said. If they have a meeting about your couch, let them talk to each other. At 5 p.m., family decision, couch convened at my own house. I decided to attend because I didn't want to be tried in absentia. Linda arrived with swatches like a door-to-door paint salesman. She smelled like vanilla and knowing more than you. Hi, Luke, she said, sweet and bright. We'll fix this. She put the swatches on my coffee table. Correction, she put the swatches on our coffee table, which became her desk, the way everything did when she walked into a room. Maddie tells me you got excited, she said. That's okay. We all have impulses. I didn't steal a car, I said. I bought a couch. She smiled like I was amusing. The home is a reflection of the family. The family makes decisions. That's what keeps things stable, right, baby? She looked at Madison, who nodded. I looked at my wife. Do you hear yourself? I asked. Do you hear that you've outsourced our life? We're a team, Maddie said. You two are a team, I said. I'm the guy who pays for the jersey. That got a flinch from both. Linda recovered first. Honey, this is about respect, she said, and safety. We need to make sure your choices fit the plan. Whose plan? I said. Family plan, she said. Linda, I said, with respect, you don't live here. She laughed short. Oh, sweetie, I live everywhere my daughter lives. We stared at each other over a pile of fabric. I understood in that moment that I was not going to win this with jokes. Here's my plan, I said. We keep the couch for 2 weeks. If we both hate it, we return it. If we disagree, we flip a coin. Flip a coin? Linda said. That is so childish. It's also fair, I said. Madison looked between us like a referee with a broken whistle. 2 weeks, she said. Fine. 2 days later, I found the couch listing back on our credit card activity as pending return. I hadn't done it. I walked into the kitchen and held up my phone. You scheduled a return? I asked. It's not personal, she said. It didn't test well. Test well, I repeated. What is this, a consumer panel? Mom sat on it, she said. She says the seat depth is wrong for entertaining. Entertaining who? I asked. Your mother's opinions? Don't be cruel, she said. Don't be dishonest, I said. You agreed to 2 weeks. You canceled at 48 hours. She blew out of breath. I'm trying to keep peace. Whose peace? You're making this bigger than it is, she said. You're acting like I cheated on you. That sat in the room, electric, because in a way this was cheating, not with a body, with authority. I canceled the return. I changed the password on our Apple family. My phone buzzed, a message from Linda. We don't keep secrets. I ignored it. I took a long walk past 4 houses that looked exactly like ours and tried to remember where I had misplaced myself. That weekend, something small turned sharp. I stopped at Lowe's for a box of screws and an air filter. The trip took 20 minutes. When I pulled into the driveway, Maddie was on the porch, arms crossed. Where were you? She asked. Lowe's, I said, holding up the bag. Mom drove by, she said. She didn't see your car. Why is your mother driving by my house at 10 a.m. on a Saturday? I asked. She was on her way to Target. Of course she was. She's worried, she said. You're acting out. I bought screws, I said. If that's acting out, we have different plays. Later, I looked at my phone and noticed a new little arrow at the top. Location sharing turned on. Not mine. Somehow, our Apple family had re-added me to shared location. My dot was now visible to the committee. A chill went through me, the kind you get when you think you're alone and realize someone has been in the room the whole time. I turned it off. 10 minutes later, my phone pinged. Location sharing ended, it told me, like a tattletale. A minute after that, Maddie texted, why did you turn off sharing? Then Linda, we need transparency to build trust. I typed, deleted, typed again. I called Eric and said, tell me I'm not crazy. You're not crazy, he said. You're living in a small cult. You think I'm overreacting? I asked. Not at all, he said. Control is like rust. It grows where you let it. I called a therapist. Her name was Dana. Her office was in a brick building by the river with a fountain in front that tried hard to sound soothing. The first time I sat on her couch, not mine, she asked me why I was there, and I said, because my marriage has a third wheel that thinks it's the steering wheel. She didn't laugh. She nodded. She brought out words like enmeshment and triangulation. She explained them in plain terms. Enmeshment is when boundaries don't exist. Triangulation is when two people use a third to do their fighting. It felt like someone finally put labels on boxes I've been moving for years. Bring Madison in, she said. If she comes willingly, that tells us something. Madison came, willingly enough to look good. She sat under the framed watercolor of a river and told the story like a woman sitting for a job interview, calm, precise, well lit. I'm close to my mom, she said. She and I make decisions together. Luke knows this. He's acting out lately. He's been secretive. Secretive how? Dana asked. He turned off location, Maddie said. He changed passwords. He bought furniture we hadn't agreed on. Do you see any problem with your mother influencing your marital decisions? Dana asked. She doesn't influence, Maddie said. She advises. How often do you seek her advice? Dana asked. Daily, Maddie said. We talk every night, sometimes more. Do you talk to her about decisions that affect only you and Luke? Yes, Maddie said. It's family. Would you be willing to change that? Dana asked. To keep some decisions between the two of you? I don't see why that's necessary, Maddie said. It's worked fine. It's not working for Luke, Dana said, gentle but firm. Maddie looked at me and the look said traitor. After the session, we walked to the parking lot in silence. Linda's car was parked 2 spaces over. She leaned on the hood like a guard. My stomach turned to ice. What are you doing here? I asked. Supporting my daughter, she said. In a therapy session, she invited you to wait outside, I asked. She smiled. You don't like me being involved, but I'm family. Maddie took her hand and they walked to the car together, leaving me standing in a lot with a fountain that couldn't drown out the sound of my pulse. That night, our thermostat changed on its own. The Nest beeped and set itself to 65. A little notification popped up. Linda adjusted temperature. Apparently, in our zeal to get a discount on our power bill by adding home members, we had given her control of the actual climate inside our house. I laughed, but not because it was funny. I removed her. My phone buzzed. Angry. Honey, did you take me off the thermostat? She texted. We agreed I'd help with utilities. We had never agreed. But agreement, in this world, meant she had said it at some point with enough confidence to make it true. Small things grew teeth. I noticed a $49 monthly charge labeled Family Organizer Plus, a subscription service that lets you make shared shopping lists, integrated calendars, and assign tasks. I clicked through and found my name on a chore board. Trash day was mine, obviously. But there was also a section labeled Health, where my vitamins were tracked like a report card, and a section labeled Sleep, with a note, screens off by 10 p.m. for Luke. The checklist showed green happy faces on nights I had fallen asleep early, and red frowns on nights I had fallen asleep early, and red frowns on nights I hadn't. I didn't remember consenting to being turned into a third grader with a bedtime. I scrolled further and found a tab called Decisions. It was a log. When we discussed painting the kitchen, there were comments from Maddie and Linda. When we debated whether to go to my brother's in Dayton for Easter, there were comments from Maddie and Linda. When we chose a car, there were comments from everyone but me. There was a decision style, graph for me labeled impulsive, with a community note from Linda that said, Luke rushes things. Something in me felt dirty, not angry. Dirty like I had been observed without consent, like my life had been data mined into compliance. I confronted Maddie again. I tried to do it softly because when I go hard, she goes to 10 and then we're just two sirens in a small room. I need privacy, I said. I need our marriage to exist between two people. I'm drowning in a group project. This is how I was raised, she said. It's healthy to seek counsel. Counsel is advice, I said. This is control. Stop using therapy words on me, she snapped. You think because you saw a counselor you're better than me? No, I said. I think I'm allowed to have a bedtime I choose. She laughed, sharp. Men love acting like being asked to care about things is abuse. Being parented by your mother is not caring about things, I said. It's being parented by your mother. She grabbed her keys. I'm going to mom, she said. I need a break. She took her overnight bag like it lived on the back of a chair. I stood in the kitchen and listened to the door and felt like a man who has been demoted inside his own life. For a week, she stayed there. She texted me schedule updates and pictures of casseroles as if that would fix anything. Then she came home and acted like the week had been a commercial break. We had good days, we had normal dinners. The couch held both of us when we watched a show about firefighters who always kiss in dramatic lighting. I thought maybe we could build a separate wall around our marriage and keep the mother out. Then my credit card company called to confirm a change in authorized users. Someone had added Linda's name to my account. The voice on the phone said it like it was nothing, routine. I hung up and walked into the living room with the kind of quiet that comes before a storm. Did you put your mother on my card? I asked. Madison didn't look sorry. She looked logical. She buys groceries for Sunday dinners, she said. It's easier. It's easier to have your mother spend my money, I said, without asking. Oh, it's family money. It's my personal card, I said. She shrugged. You make more. It's fine. I stared at her and thought, this is where men go dark. This is where they stop talking and start drinking or punching walls or cheating. I didn't want to be that guy. I wanted to be the guy who says no, like a complete sentence. I took her mother off the card. I set a pin. I removed every app from the Apple family that wasn't ours. I locked down my phone like it was a house on a bad block. Then I took a deep breath and told Madison I was done being polite about this. We need rules, I said. No one changes our house settings but us. No one gets access to our money but us. No one gets to know where I am unless I want them to. Her mouth went thin. You're shutting me out. I'm closing the door that a third person keeps walking through, I said. She cried. Then she screamed. Then she did both at once like a wave that breaks and pulls you under. We didn't sleep. The next night, I stopped on the way home for Thai food. Red curry for me, pad see ew for her, the way we order when we don't want to decide. I walked in quiet so I wouldn't wake the hornets in the air. That's when I heard her in the hallway off our bedroom on speakerphone in that tone you use when you're giving someone a status report. Don't worry, she whispered. I control everything. He won't make a move without me. My hand clenched around the paper bag until the grease stained the bottom. I stood there long enough to hear her mother say, "Good girl," and to hear Madison say, "He thinks he set rules. He didn't. I did." A month of therapy words washed away with a single syllable. Good girl. I was a project again. I was a toddler with a fake steering wheel in the back seat. I was a man being parented by his wife and her mother while they clapped for each other. I stepped into the doorway. She looked up, eyes wide, and in that instant understood exactly what I had heard. She hung up so fast the call sound didn't have time to finish. "What did you hear?" she asked, playing for a narrow path to plausible. "Enough," I said, enough to finally say this out loud. "Luke, wait," she said, "you're taking it wrong." "You said you control everything," I said. My voice wasn't loud, it didn't need to be. "You said I won't make a move without you. You told your mother that like she's your boss, and I'm your subordinate. I am your husband, I am not your child." "I didn't mean it like that," she said. "How did you mean it?" I asked. "I meant I'm keeping us on track," she said. "I meant you need structure." "Structure is not your mother in my wallet," I said. "Structure is not your mother turning down my thermostat. Structure is not a chore app measuring my bedtime like I'm 8. She swallowed. "Don't be dramatic." "You are gaslighting me," I said. "You're using therapy words again," she said. "I'm using the only words I have left," I said. She reached for me. "Baby, please." I stepped back. The paper bag of Thai food sagged between us like a tired referee. "I'll drive you to your mother's," I said. "Pack a bag, 2, however many you want." Her face changed 3 times, like a weather map on fast forward. Shock, anger, fear. "You can't be serious," she said. "I am done living as a group assignment," I said. "You and your mother can run a home together. It just won't be mine." She laughed, a terrible laugh that sounded like a scrape. "You'll come back," she said. "You always do when you cool off." "Maybe I used to," I said. "Tonight I'm cold." She went into the bedroom and came out with 2 suitcases, like a person who's practiced. I carried them to the truck. She slipped her phone into her pocket and texted fast. I didn't ask who, I already knew. We drove in silence except for the turn signal's honest tick. I parked in front of Linda's ranch house with the perfect hydrangeas. The porch light came on before I stepped out. I carried the bags up the brick steps. Madison stood behind me like a ghost being delivered. Linda opened the door with concern already rehearsed on her face. She started to speak and I held up my hand. "You win," I said. "Now you can run things together." I set the bags inside the door. I looked at Madison. I looked at Linda. I looked at the life that had been constructed around me like scaffolding and realized I could walk away without it falling on my head. "Luke," Madison said, "don't do this." "I'm not doing anything," I said. "I'm stopping." I turned, walked back to my truck, and let the night tell me I had finally drawn a line where none had been. The drive home was quiet. The house was quieter. I stood in the living room, looked at the navy couch, and sat. It held me like it promised it would. I ate my cold red curry and watched the ceiling fan make slow circles and didn't cry. My phone lit up with missed calls. I put it face down. The quiet felt like a clean room. The next morning, I called Dana and told her everything. She didn't say sorry the way people do when they're trying to plaster over your grief. She said she was proud of me for choosing myself without punishment. She asked me if I felt safe, and I said yes because safety, I learned, isn't the absence of conflict. It's the absence of control. In the weeks after, Madison tried every door. She texted apologies with emojis like band-aids. She sent screenshots of articles about overly independent husbands, as if independence could be a flaw. She promised boundaries with bullet points. She cried in voice notes that made my chest ache. She said she would change. She said she'd move out if it helped, and then slide back into a suggestion that she didn't have to, because she understood now. She really did. I answered some. I ignored more. When I did answer, I kept my sentences short enough to carry. I told her I needed space. I told her control is the opposite of love. I told her we could talk in a counselor's office. 2 weeks later, she moved fully into Linda's and posted a picture of a latte with a caption about new beginnings. I muted her. I muted Linda. My house got louder without their voices in it. There were practical things. I removed Linda from everything I could remove her from: bank accounts, the thermostat, the camera on the front door, the chore app. I deleted Family Organizer Plus with more satisfaction than I will admit to a therapist. I set a new bedtime for myself when I'm tired. I noticed dumb things. The house smelled like us for a while, and then it smelled like me. The laundry gathered different. The dishwasher sang a different little song when it finished because I accidentally pressed a new setting and decided I liked it. The couch became a place I read in, not a battlefield. I invited Eric over for the game, and he brought beer and didn't ask where the coasters were because he knows you don't need coasters on a table you paid for with your own money and live in with your own rules. In counseling, we talked about choice and control and the thousand ways people use love as a leash. I picture myself in a field with the leash in my hand and then setting it down, not breaking it, just setting it down and walking away. Dana smiled and said sometimes the most mature thing you can do is refuse to play the role you were written into. 3 months later, the paperwork started because there are laws for ending a committee. There are forms and signatures and boxes to check and fees to pay like tolls on a long road. Madison didn't fight the division of stuff, she fought the story. She told me that telling this wrong would make her look bad. I said I wasn't telling anything, I was just living. She still calls sometimes. She tells me her mother misses me. That one gets me because it assumes I should miss a control system like it was a person. Maybe I do in some shape. People who run your life also organize it. Chaos can feel like freedom or like loss depending on the day. Some nights I make eggs for dinner and sit on the couch and wonder if love is supposed to be this quiet. Then I go to bed when I want and wake up and realize the quiet is the point. My mother, my actual mother, who lives in Kentucky and calls only on Sundays, asked me if I will ever partner again. I said yes because I believe in the good parts still. But this is what I know now in my bones. Partners don't parent each other. In-laws don't hold keys to your thermostat. Group chats don't have veto power over your couch. Marriage is two people with one story, not one person with two authors hovering over her shoulder. Last week, I took a picture of the couch because it caught the afternoon light like it was a lake, and my living room was a shore. I thought about sending it to someone to say, look, I chose this, I get to sit in this, I didn't send it. I put my phone down and sat. That is the small miracle I needed to learn. You can keep something beautiful without needing it validated. You can choose and then you can rest in that choice. If you're listening to this and thinking about your own committee, I'll tell you the only hard won advice I have. The moment you hear someone you love promise someone else that they control you, believe them. Believe them and then decide if that's the life you want. You can love the person and still refuse the leash. You can drive them to the door and say, you win, and then go home to your couch and you're quiet and yourself, and that can be not a loss, but the first honest win you've had in years. Do boundaries come before love, or does love without boundaries count as love at all? If a partner lets a parent steer your life, is there any version of compromise that doesn't end with you in the back seat? If you want more stories like this, stick around. It helps to hear it from someone who lived it and learned where the line goes.